Board here. All right. Welcome everybody to tonight's Team Aftershots Zoom call. It is March 29th, so I wanted to start off this call by talking a little bit and giving you my tips and pointers of how to really push Hit Success Club if you're at 0 or 2 or 3 or 4 points right now and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, there's only 2 days left of the month, and what am I going to do? First of all, it's totally possible. It's been done a million times before where people have managed to get like 10 points in even a day, 2 days. So I'm just going to give you guys my biggest pointers of how you can make that happen, because that Beachbody game is going to be rad, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's like a one-time thing. So it's like literally you earn it this month or else that's it. You'll never get it. So the first thing, that's the biggest thing that I need to start by stressing this, is even though it is like a push, if you are not at Success Club yet, we have like 2 days left in the month and it is a push to try and get there. You want to still remember not to put points on top of people's heads, because this is the point where that tends to happen, and you're going to start just kind of seeing points on top of people's heads when you're talking to them, and you don't want to do that. Absolutely, you want to, no matter what, remember why you're doing this, and keep their best interest at the, as your top priority. And yeah, that's the biggest thing. So don't put the points above people's heads. But the biggest thing, action item for you that you guys should be doing right now, starting today, these next 2 days, is following up like crazy, going back, checking in with people who have ever mentioned health and fitness, anything to you before, going back to everybody that you've ever invited to a challenge group before that for whatever reason, one reason or the other, never ended up joining, going back to all those people and just following up with them. So if you didn't watch, Anna had posted a video that, I don't remember the girl's name. In Team Victory All-Stars, Anna posted this important from Green Bay video that she recorded, and then she posted this how to rally for those last minute Success Club points video in the comments of her important from Green Bay video. So if you haven't watched that, make sure to go watch that. She has some really good tips. The coach, whose name I can't remember, let me just click it up. Katie Hefner, right? Okay, so she has really good tips in that video. It's like 5 minutes long. And so go watch that for sure. But the biggest thing in these last couple days is just follow up like crazy. Go and don't be like I say, don't be like, you don't want to be pushy about it or anything like that. Check in with people. Typically what I'll do is, first of all, I will, like when I'm pushing for Success Club points, first of all, I will go back to people that I previously invited that they said, yes, I want to join, and then maybe they started ignoring me at some point or whatever. And I will just send them a message saying, hey, just want to check in, see if you're still interested in joining my challenge. Simple, right? You can even go a bit further so that they don't just keep ignoring you, and just say, hey, just want to check in, see if you're still interested in joining my challenge. If now is not the best time for you, that's totally fine. Just let me know either way, because I am holding a spot for you right now. And then people are usually pretty courteous when you word it like that to actually respond and say, yes or no or whatever. So those are the first people that I go back to when I am pushing for Success Club. And then I will go back to, like I say, anybody who has ever talked to me about health and fitness in the past. So I will go back to old Free Clean Eating group participants, because they obviously had goals that they shared with me at one point in time. And depending on where I last talked to them, will depend where my first message to them goes. If I haven't talked to them in a really long time, I'll go take a peek at their Facebook profile, see, what's been going on in their life lately, if they've been posting about anything that's been going on in their life. And I will start my message to them with that. I will lead with that. I will just be like, hey, I was just thinking of you. I see that you got a new puppy. That's fun, whatever. Ask them something about that. If they haven't really posted anything that's going on in their life, then I'll just send a, hey, I was just thinking about you. Wanted to pop in and say hi, how's everything going? type message. Do a little small talk back and forth, circle back around to their goals, let them know that you have this challenge group coming up. We have a team run. Our March into Fitness group, that's what it's called right now, is going to be ending this week. And then next Monday, April 6th, we have our next 30-day team run challenge group starting. So you can plug people into that. They can order by Tuesday. Tell them Tuesday's the deadline to order. And so then I would just be inviting them to that. I would just say, hey, I know, how are things going on your fitness journey or whatever, or go back to a specific goal that they shared with you before. Be like, how are those 10 pounds coming or whatever their goal was. And then they'll let you know, 9 times out of 10, when I ask people that, they're like, not very great, so then that's a great opportunity to say, okay, well, I do have this challenge starting on Monday and blah, 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 blah. Did you know that it's only like 10 weeks till summer? Don't quote me on that because I don't know that for sure, but I think it's about that. So that's the next set of people I'll go to. So first set of people to follow up with or to go back to are people who said that they were interested in joining one of your Beachbody Challenge groups. At some point in the invite process, they didn't respond to a message, sending them that simple message saying, hey, just want to check in. Are you still interested in joining? The next set of people I will circle around to then are people who previously participated in one of my free groups that never did end up joining one of my Beachbody Challenge groups after that. And then the third is I literally will just be going down my list of people who have ever talked to me about health and fitness. Maybe they haven't ever participated in a free group even. And that's all. Like literally, if you're pushing for Success Club, you should just be like talking to people like freaking crazy. The next little tip that I wanted to give you guys, because it's something that I don't think we really think about actually coming out and saying it to people, because you don't want to make them feel like your intentions are wrong or whatever. But if you have any close friends or family members who have expressed interest in one of the programs or in Shakeology or in joining one of your groups, if you're close, if you have that, close relationship with that person, come out and tell them straight up that they would help you out because you would get points and then you'd win this game and then they can play the game with you and it'll be so much fun. Like, honestly, 2 of the challenge packs I sold this last month were to close friends, and I told them straight up, like, it would help me earn this game. I would get points and that would be great. And it's totally fine because we have that relationship. I wouldn't say that to somebody that you hardly know or that you just met, obviously, because that will come across as like, okay, wait, are you trying to help me reach my fitness goals, or are you just trying to get more points for yourself? But your close friends and family and stuff, like, they would get that. They'd be like, yeah. And then of course they'd love to help you out. And then it's a win-win because you finally have, given them that push in the right direction, and then they'll be getting started feeling better as well. Because guys, we live in like a society, I don't know, where people don't like doing things for themselves. Like, honestly, that's the biggest thing ultimately that holds people back from joining challenge groups, from eating healthy, from exercising, from investing in their own health and in themselves, is because we don't like to do things for ourselves. We would rather do things for other people first. We always put everyone else before us. So that's the reason that a lot of times your close friends and family members, you let them know that that's going to give you points and you're going to win this Beachbodyopoly game. And that will be the final push. That's like, okay, yes, I can justify investing this money because I'm going to help my friend out, So that's just another sort of path to take. I know Andrea did that with one of her friends, and she needed one more challenge pack to get Success Club this month, and I told her to do that, and she did that with one of her friends, and then she bought it. So and then it's a win-win because then people are getting started taking care of themselves and feeling better as well. So so the other general message that I will send to people when I'm circling back around to people who have shared their goals with me before is I will say, hey, I am just finalizing things for my upcoming challenge, and I wanted to personally reach out to you first because I remember you telling me before that you wanted to, whatever their goal was that they shared with you before. So I remember you telling me before that you wanted to lose 10 pounds. I remember you telling me before that you wanted to fit back into your size, whatever jeans, whatever goal there was. And I know that this would help you reach that goal huge. So anyways, I'm not sure if now is a great time for you or not, but either way, it's totally fine. Just let me know because I am holding a spot for you. That's just some verbiage that I will typically use because then I get a message back. Usually when I tell people like, either way, it's totally fine. Just let me know. If now's not a great time, that's fine. Usually that's when they'll give me an answer back, because otherwise typically people will just ignore you if they're not ready, because they don't want to say no, because then they worry that that's it. It's like a one-time deal. As soon as they say no, that's it. They can't ever join you. And that's not the case, but that's just what people think. So yeah, and then the other thing that I would do if you guys are pushing for trying to get Success Club in these last couple months is I would hold off on promoting the free trial for Beachbody On Demand right now. And this is something I saw Anna said that she was holding off on promoting it because she is still pushing to hit Success Club herself. And yeah, because typically, you know, if somebody is, I mean, you know, if you're trying to talk to somebody about getting like the full package deal and getting a challenge pack with their Shakeology and da-da-da, but then you're also at the same time promoting this totally free 30-day thing where they could do potentially the same program, whatever, depending what program you're talking to them about, then it might just make it a little bit more difficult. So what I would do if I was pushing for Success Club right now, I would lead with like a paid Beachbody challenge group with like the Shakeology and everything. And then if you get an objection or like a cost objection, or they like, I can't afford this right now, or whatever, then I would turn around and be like, okay, well, there is this free option for these 30 days. And then I would talk about Beachbody On Demand, the free trial. But I wouldn't really be promoting it too much right now, because that's what people are going to be asking you about. And you obviously want them to, you know, commit more. But most people should be starting with 21 Day Fix. I'm a firm believer that that's like the best starting point for everybody, because it has the nutrition aspect to it more than any other program that we have. So really that's what you should be talking to people about. But then if they have an objection, they can't afford it or whatever, then I would circle around and let them know about Beachbody On Demand free trial, because hey, something's better than nothing, right? And yeah, so I think that's all my like big tips for you guys for pushing for Success Club in these last couple days. There's 2 days left, you guys, and it's totally possible. Even if you're at 0, all you need is 5. That is 2 challenge packs and a Shakeology Home Direct. It's totally, totally possible. If you have somebody who is wanting to buy another program and they've bought a challenge pack before, then get them to buy a challenge pack with a different email address. Seriously, because then you'll get those points and whatever. I mean, you know, so it's just another idea. So now I wanted to talk tonight about time management. And this is, just going to take a look and see. Okay. Aubrey and Andrea aren't on here. So Aubrey and Andrea already know this because they were with me when I learned about this. This system is called buckets, and this is something that Jeff Matthewson from corporate, Aubrey, Andrea, and I went and met with him last week, and this is something he shared with us because Andrea and Aubrey both work full-time jobs. They both have toddlers and husbands, and they're, you know, busy people. And so they were saying that time management is the biggest thing that they struggle with. And I know that this is the biggest thing that a lot of us do struggle with. So Jeff shared with us this thing called buckets. And basically what it is you'll have like 4 or 5 different buckets. And each bucket it signifies something in your life that takes up time, right? So each bucket will have 4 things in it, and you can like draw it out on a piece of paper. You'll have a piece of paper and then draw your 5 buckets across the page. And then each bucket will have 4 things in it. It will have a name, a color. So it'll have a color assigned to it. a time frame, so how much time you're going to spend on it, like each day or each week or whatever, and 2 to 3 activities to help maximize these buckets. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when it comes to the buckets is you want to figure out your priorities. So if you don't already have your priorities figured out, then that's something that you just need to do. You need to figure out your priorities, because you will always feel slightly unbalanced and off in life if you don't know your priorities, because then you aren't going to be living your life in accordance to them, and you'll always feel kind of out of whack. So for example, for me, my number one priority is family. So my first bucket is family. And so because that's my number one priority, that's the bucket that I should be spending the most time in each day, right? And then my second bucket is personal. So that's like where that would account for like my personal development, my workout time. And yeah, those are the basic things in that bucket. And then if you work a full-time job, I would say that would be another bucket, because that obviously takes a lot of time out of your day. So then you would have that bucket. And then as far as the Beachbody business, you want to have 2 separate buckets for your Beachbody business. You want to have one bucket that is your personal Beachbody business, and another bucket that is your team Beachbody business. So if you are a newer coach, or maybe you're not even a newer coach, but you don't really have any coaches signed up underneath you, or you only have like discount coaches underneath you, they aren't really building the business or whatever, you're not really going to be spending any time in that team bucket right now. But as you sign up more coaches, and as you sign up like business building coaches, that's when it's going to be really important to separate those 2 things, because so many people, and I did it myself, you hit diamond and all of a sudden you're like, I have 12 coaches underneath me. I can't like build my own business anymore. I need to be spending time with my coaches. And then of course your business falters. And it's no coincidence that after hitting Success Club every single month for like 9 months in a row, the first month after that I didn't hit Success Club was the month after I went diamond. And it's because I stopped doing my own personal business stuff at that point in time. I was just doing my team stuff. I was, getting my team pumped up and doing one-on-one calls and everything, which is also important. But anyway, so then you want to assign time to each bucket. So if you have a full-time job, obviously, that's probably the first one, because to assign the time to, because you probably have a set work schedule, like you have to be there at whatever time in the morning until whatever time at night, and you work 8 hours a day or whatever. So that's going to be your 8 hours, and then you mark down like what times that's at. And then your family. So like how much time then in the day are you going to spend with your family? So then things that come, like the 2 to 3 items in each bucket that help maximize those buckets, that will be things like with your family. Like for me, I have like dinner time. Dinner is always like family dinner. And then I also have pillow talk. So that's like at 9 o'clock I shut down, and then that's like my time with Dell. And then I always have time with Serena during the day. So those are like my 3 family bucket items. Okay. And then my personal bucket items, workout, personal development, like I mentioned. So your personal development side of the business will end up in your personal bucket, because that's your own personal growth. Yes, it will help you in the business as well, but it's yourself, right? And then your personal business bucket is going to be things like your power of 3. It's going to be things like talking to your challengers. It's going to be those sorts of business building things, right? So the adding new contacts, the sending new messages, the sending new invites, the business exposures, that sort of stuff. But you can just summarize it by power of 3 and checking in with challenge groups and challengers. And then your team business one is going to be things like checking in with your coaches, checking in with your team page, checking and doing up any sorts of trainings or whatever. Or like for me, like this team call, this fits in with my team business time. Whereas for you guys, this is kind of more personal development, or I don't really know. So anyways, and then Yeah, so then within the buckets, you're going to also have to split things out. So you have to get a bit more specific as well. So the biggest thing, I've been talking a lot with different people on this team about what they're struggling with and stuff like that. And I know time management is the biggest thing, which is why I wanted to cover this on tonight's call, because this is amazing. So you have your buckets, and you have it figured out how much time you're going to spend in each bucket, and and then you put it on a calendar, and it's color coded. So then you put all the stuff on the calendar when you're going to do whatever, and then it's really easy because it's color coded to look at the calendar and see if you are actually like in balance with your priorities, right? So like if you're spending more time working than you are with your family, but your family is your top priority, then you're always going to feel unsatisfied and unfulfilled and off. That's just how it is. So that's why it's so important to do the color coding and then actually put it on a calendar and make sure that it all makes sense. So then within the buckets, you want to get specific as well. So when you're planning your week out, which is something that I can't stress enough, to just take 15 or 20 minutes every Sunday and do it. I have my Google Calendar set up and I plan my week out, and I don't plan it to a T, but I do like the days that at least I know will run on some sort of routine. Typically it's Monday to Friday. This week, like I just did my Google Calendar, which I'm actually, if I don't run out of time, I'm going to share with you guys my Google Calendar for this week. This week's a little bit different. I really only did Monday to Thursday because Friday is a holiday. So it's, going to be off schedule a bit or whatever. But just take that time and set up what you can of the week. It's going to just make things run a whole bunch smoother. So when you are setting up your calendar, you want to get a little specific. So you don't want to just like put Beachbody from this time to this time. Like what Beachbody? What are you going to do? A thing that I was realizing that a lot of people have been doing, and then they feel really frustrated, obviously, because they're like, I'm putting 2 hours a day into this business and it's not getting me anywhere, is you kind of get distracted by training videos because there's always all these videos to watch, Anna's always posting new videos. I'm always posting new videos. People on Team Victory are posting new videos. Scotty Hobbs is posting new videos. Barbie Decker's posting new videos. Anita Myron's posting new videos. And they're all catchy, and it's like, oh, I need to watch this one, and I need to watch this one. But if you're spending all your time just watching these videos and not actually applying what you're learning and actually talking to people, you're not going to build your business at all, right? So it's really important to separate in your calendar, when are you going to watch the training, when are you going to watch training videos and that sort of thing, which I would probably almost consider personal development. And then when are you going to actually be doing like your power of 3, talking to people, inviting people, checking in with your challengers and all that sort of stuff. And then like the split for that, I mean, you should be spending like 80% of your personal business time doing the stuff that's actually going to build your business. And that is the power of 3 stuff. And then only 20% on like watching the videos and even like catching, the recordings of these team calls and stuff like that. That should only be like 20% of your time on this business. But 80% of it should be spent. That's the 80-20 rule. 80% of it should be spent actually applying what you're learning and actually doing the thing. So and then the other thing with the difference between the personal business and the team business is that it's right now for most of the coaches on this team, it's probably very, very unbalanced. Like it's probably like literally you're going to spend like very little time on your team bucket right now. And then, like I say, as you sign more coaches and stuff, it'll catch up a little bit, but it still should never really get more than like, it's still going to be, you still should always be spending more time on your personal business than on your coaches and your team. So that's really important to keep in mind as well, so that you don't kind of fall into that, oh my gosh, I have coaches now, so I'm going to just focus on them. And then the other thing is no multitasking. So these buckets are totally separate. There should be like lines drawn between them. They are totally, totally separate. So when you are like spending time with your family, you're not on your phone replying to messages. When you are sitting down to do your power of three, you're not like talking to your family while you're doing it. Like, it needs to be separate, and it's hard habit to get into, to separate those things and discipline yourself to, like, for example, sit down and be like, okay, I have work hours now. Like, I'm sitting down and I'm working my Beachbody business and I'm doing my power of three right now. Leave me alone, family. I need to just focus on this. It's really, really hard to get into that discipline, but it's just going to make your life so much easier. And I know sometimes it's not always possible and stuff. And it might just be like, maybe you have an hour at night after the kids have gone to bed where you're able to sit down and, you know, actually focus on it. Or, you know, maybe you get up an hour earlier in the morning and do it then. That's my focus time. Serena's been on spring break last week and she's on spring break this next week. So it's been that time in the morning. I get up with Dell in the morning. And then when he goes to work, that time early in the morning before Serena gets up has been vital to me, because I don't have the time that I normally have when she's in school. So I have that time in the morning, and then in the evening, I always disappear. I don't always. I've been really bad about sticking to that lately, just being honest. But I usually am really good about disappearing at 6 o'clock, and I work my business in the evenings because I have the ability to spend all day with Serena, so I don't need to see her in the evening, if that makes sense. If you work full-time, it's going to be a little bit of a different situation, because obviously you're going to want to spend time with your family in the evening, but that's totally fine. You know what? You work with your own schedule and you figure out what's going to work for you and your family. The other thing that's really big on this is communication. So when I finally decided to, okay, this is a business, I'm building a business, I actually wrote my schedule down and I put it up on the fridge at home, because I was just like, you know, I told Dell, I said, okay, we're going to just pretend that I work some crappy part-time job somewhere and these are my work hours. And it's like Monday to Thursday night from 6 to 9 p.m. I'm working, and I put it up on the fridge so that he, you know, saw it and was always reminded, like at 6 o'clock. And then I would disappear. I'd lock myself in the bedroom, and that would be that, you know. And it kind of worked. I mean, it worked out, because then he got more one-on-one time with Serena too. So, I mean, it worked out good. But anyways, so yeah, so no multitasking, except for, there's an exception to this rule, and that is listening to personal development while you're driving or while you are doing dishes or laundry or cleaning and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the only exception to the no multitasking rule. But otherwise, like, the biggest thing, like I say, is when you're in your family bucket, don't be on your phone. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys my Google Calendar, just so you guys can kind of have a bit of a visual for my buckets. And I've really struggled. It's been a process for me to finally get my calendar to where I want it to be. And this isn't, wait, yeah, this is right. Okay. Because I really struggled with, like, oh my gosh, there can't be any white space on my calendar. Let me share my screen. Okay, so I struggled with, like, I was figuring, like, oh, there can't be any white space. Like, look at all this white space. And I was, like, trying to fill it all in and whatever, but then I never stuck to anything because it was, like, not doable. So basically, you can see I have different colors, right? So, like, this light blue color is my personal bucket. So, like, I read personal development first thing in the morning, and then my workout, my wake-up call, because I consider that personal development. So that's my personal bucket. Pink is my family bucket. So breakfast every morning, other random Serena time, and dinner time, and then time with Dell. And then green is my personal, well, this is more like teal, I guess. It's my personal business time. And I started using, like, greenish, and then this dark green color is my team time. But I started using that color because Danny Johnson says that she used green for her business bucket because, well, I don't know that she called it a bucket, but that's what I'm referring to it as now. But she color codes her calendars too, so this is obviously something that all successful people do. But anyways, she uses green because green is the color of money, and that makes you money. So that's really tacky. But anyways, so yeah, so then I reply to messages and do that. And then there's leeway in here, right? Like I have leeway, so if this takes me a little bit longer, or Serena gets up earlier or whatever, it's totally fine. And then these are just other calls that I have tomorrow. And then I'm going to do a blog post tomorrow afternoon. And then the evening again is like my work time. So I'll reply to messages, do my power of 3, and then make up my to-do list. And this is the other thing I'm going to say to you all is so important to do, to take a bit of time at the end of the day, or you can do it first thing in the morning if that works better for you. But to make a to-do list for the next day and kind of plan out your next day. Because guys, this isn't going to go perfectly like this. I can tell you that. There's like the scheduled things that will stick. Like I have these couple calls tomorrow that will stick. The wake up call, that will stick. But things aren't going to always, especially when Serena's not in school this week. Like I can't guarantee that at 1 o'clock every day is when I'm going to be replying to messages. I just plugged that in there because I was like, it's a reminder I need to take some time out in the afternoons to do that this week. But this will change. So it's so important at the end of each day or at the beginning of each day to go and make adjustments and look at the next day and be like, oh, something came up here or there, or this changed or whatever. So I need to do this, and make your to-do list for the next day. So yeah, so that's just, I think I covered all my colors, right? My buckets, my dark green, that's for my team. The teal color is my personal, pink is my family, and blue is me. Yeah, so that's that. So that's just a little glimpse. If you guys want, there is a video Melanie Mitro did on Google Calendar. And that's actually where I started doing Google Calendar after I watched her video, because it is super user-friendly. It's really easy to use. It's on your calendar. It syncs with everything. It's awesome. It's on your calendar. Did I say it's on your calendar? It's on your phone. So it syncs with everything. You can do it up on the computer. You can do it on your phone. You can change things on your phone. It's super simple, and it looks really nice. And yeah. So anyways, so that's just a glimpse of the calendar that I use. Some people I know prefer Outlook. Or if you are a pen to paper person, get a schedule book and then just have highlighters and highlight each block. Like when you fill in your schedule or whatever, your day, your week, just highlight it so that it's like I say, it's so important so you can quickly glance at it and know where are you spending the majority of your time, and make sure that aligns with your priorities. And if you don't know what your priorities are, then that's your first step, is figuring out your priorities. So that's it, you guys. Push and get Success Club. You all can do it. I know you can. And I'm gonna take a screenshot. So you guys who are hiding, if you can like turn your cameras on so I can see you, that would be great. If not, then you'll just be blue faces. That's fine too. Yay, there's Brianna. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot. Let's see. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Cheese! Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you guys on the flip side.